Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver and welcome to World of Horror. It's me, your boy, and on today's episode, this is a big recording day for me. I've recorded 3 episodes of RimWorld. After this, I'm gonna record some episodes of the JRPG, all for the almighty backlog of consistent content. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, like uploading consistent, multiple amounts of videos in the future. And so on today's episode, we're just gonna kind of take it easy, take it easy. And I've been thinking a lot about depth, right? Like I've been thinking about it. I've been getting nostalgic. We're gonna do a little Miku run as a treat. I don't really want to do Ill-Fated. We haven't done Ill-Fated in a while, but like I just want to play it cool for now. We'll do Ill-Fated later. Actually, you know what? Let's just do vanilla. Let's just do vanilla World of Horror. Not really worry about it. But yeah, no, I've been wanting to, we'll do Cathak, why not? And, give me one moment here to, we'll just do this. There we kind of go. Much better, alright. Okay, you kind of difficult to see the funds, but it's fine. It's fine. We're just gonna leave it like that for now, because why not? But yeah, no, we're gonna actually just a little bit, like just a little bit more, and then like that. There we go, perfect. So yeah, I'm looking forward to popping off on content, and I've been thinking about depth a lot recently because I've been getting very nostalgic for depth. Because it's some of, like, the most fun I've had with a multiplayer game in a long time, but for all the wrong reasons, really. And so, it's weird. How do I put it? Like, going into a game and then just getting absolutely stomped, right? Like, just getting absolutely destroyed by your opponent because your opponent has, like, thousands of matches and they've been playing for hundreds of hours. And they know the ins and outs of the game perfectly well, to the point where they know, like, oh, he's playing Diver with this gun, so this is his time to kill if he hits his shots. This is how long I have, or like, oh, this shark is doing this, or, just kind of like knowing exactly what to do against your shark or your Diver weapon, and then like playing around it perfectly is a little bit like, I mean, there's no real way to describe it, but you just get absolutely stomped. And you might be wondering, Web, why are you nostalgic for those days, right? Like, why are you nostalgic for getting the crap kicked out of you? Well, it's more about just, like, that doesn't really happen in a game, And the reason why it happened in depth is because there's only, like, 200 people playing it at any given time, so you're gonna run into the same people over and over again. And those people have gotten really good because they play the game a lot. So, like, yeah, you're gonna go up against them, and you're gonna see some stuff that might, what you're gonna see might be disturbing for some viewers. Somebody getting absolutely destroyed, eviscerated, torn apart to shreds even by, sharks with tiny golden crowns on their heads. It's actually quite, I mean, the sharks themselves are quite cute. But devastating when played against. Like, I remember seeing the, there's a video, and I'm gonna look it up because, like, credit where it's due, and it's a small community, so it's important. But, I think it's like, let me see. No, let's see. I need to be more specific, because searching up depth will get you a lot of generic, videos. And this is not at all what I want. What on earth is this? What on earth did I search up? I typed in depth 45-second victory, and this is so incredibly cursed. Like, I hate this so much. The depth hammerhead 1 minute victory. I'm trying to find it. It's very okay. Sinopia, the 1 minute double hammerhead game. Like, you go up against Sinopia, in depth, and it's like, you know exactly what's gonna happen, right? Like, you're looking at somebody who's going to completely 0 to 100 you as a shark. And a stupid guide to Hammerhead depth guide. Oh man, Hammerhead was great. Hammerhead was one of the most fun sharks to play. Because essentially how the jump scare, by the way, in 3, 2, 1. Hey, no jump scare. The Hammerhead was one of the best sharks to play because how it worked. How do we get 2 funds? Oh, we found a... You bought a new item? Wait, what? We've already bought the item. Wait, did we get Jar of Blood that quickly? Oh no, Dead Man's Float. Okay, Dead Man's Float. No, okay, hold on, we're good. We're good. I was so confused because I forgot we searched the lockers. So the Hammerhead was one of my favorite sharks to play. I was a bull shark main, but the Hammerhead was really fun because what the Hammerhead did was the Hammerhead had one of the worst bites. So how the shark gameplay works is you're in a third-person perspective and you swim around until you lunge at a diver, you grab them in your jaws, and then you thrash them around and you bite into them and stuff, right? So the Hammerhead had the worst thrash damage in the game, and so what you did and how you won as the Hammerhead is that you could slam divers into walls. And so the more of the more speed you had and the angle you went at, you had a much better damage, right? And so if you went at a diagonal, if you came at a wall from a diagonal way and you slammed somebody into it, it wouldn't do enough damage, and the diver could stab you and you might die if you're being shot at. But if there's a flat wall and you're coming at it horizontally, then you would instant kill the diver. And so what and I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong, but what that video that I just told you about, the depth Hammerhead kill in under a minute, is what they would do is they would both pick Hammerhead, and they would both go into the diver room, and they would just they would line up the diver with the wall, slam the diver into the wall, get the instant kill, and then just do that when the divers respawned. Because they've been playing the game long enough to where they know, a rough idea of where the divers will spawn in the room. And the divers, here's the thing. The divers can spawn in 2 areas. They can spawn on Steve, which is the treasure hunting robot, or they could spawn at the starting point of the map. And so if you're getting camped like that, you start at the spawning point of the map so that you don't get camped. But these players didn't know how to do it, or they didn't think to do that. So they all just kept spawning as Steve and getting immediately slammed into the wall. And it was a flat map, too. So, the moment they spawned, they would get slammed into the ground, immediately die. And they were pretty hasty on their respawn, so that's how you get, an under 1 minute victory. And there are 34 lives on each team, by the way. Or, sorry, 34 diver lives, 32 shark lives, because it's 30 tickets, and you spend a ticket to respawn, and then for the, you spend a ticket to respawn, and then you, I almost want to try to meme School Scissors, but we'd die, so let's just do Fear Festival. And so there are 2 sharks and there are 4 divers, so that's why I say 34 lives versus 32 versus 34 lives. So you go through 34 lives in the manner of a minute. That's how you do it. And it was terrifying to fight good sharks, and it was also terrifying to but it was also a lot of fun to be a shark. I was a terrible diver. I always used the diver propeller vehicle, or what is it, the DPV, the diver propulsion vehicle. I used that because I was bad at I'm bad at first person shooters. I mean, you've seen me play Dusk, right? So I'm not very good at first person shooters, and the divers play in first person while the sharks play in third person. And so basically what happened was there's two ways. So how depth works is you go into the water, you have like a pistol, right? And then you have a you use that you have a pistol, and then Steve takes you through, usually the most maps, open water, and then goes into an interior room that has a safe in it. And so that's sort of like the safest place for the divers to be, to some extent, because it's hard for the sharks to get in this room, and there's only so many ways the sharks can get in that room. So you can be in a situation where you know where the sharks are gonna roughly attack from. And of course the sharks can like break down walls and new areas to like get in. However, I mean, you wanna dodge? That's bracing. You wanna try dodging? Not really, because you have a 75% chance to just plain miss. So you want to 85-85? Is that doable? No? 80 is 75-75 it is then. So you have chosen death. But yeah, so like the sharks can like open up new ways to get into the room, but for the most part, you know exactly where the shark is going to come from. And the shark has to, like, spend time breaking down the wall, which costs the shark stamina. So it takes time for the sharks to do that. And so, sort of like how it would play normally if you're, like, new to the game, is when the divers are in that room, you, like, go in and you trade, like, 1 for 1 or 1 for 2, right? And that can be for both teams. Like, the divers could kill both the sharks and lose 1 person, or the sharks could kill 2 people and lose 1 shark. We should have taken the Doom there, by the way. That was a misplay. Yeah, so there are a couple of ways to go about it. And so when Steve would be done with the safe, Steve has to go to 3 safes, right? So Steve opens that safe, and you get a bunch of money. And so in between respawning and dying, you can basically... You can use the money that Steve got from the safe to buy upgrades to your guns, or, so let's see, this would be, hold on, I need to think about this for a second. Okay, we're running. I've thought about it. We're fleeing. Oh, no. Wait. Special run. It doesn't, let's go. Special run, it just works, which is very good. But yeah, so, like, So normally what would happen in like a regular game is you would go to an open water area, but in between safes, and you'd be able to pick up treasure in between, and then there'd be a little treasure in the safe room as well. And then you'd be able to turn that into Steve for money, and then when Steve opens up the safe, you get a lot of money. And so you'd use that money to buy upgrades to make killing the sharks easier and be able to buy like better guns and stuff. And so, you know, that's all well and good, right? However, with, there's a lot of treasure outside the safe room. And the reason why there's a lot of treasure outside the safe room is because it's super dangerous for the divers to go out there. Because the divers are super slow. They only have 2 dodge rolls. I say dodge rolls, but they have like little stamina bursts that they can use to dash in a direction. And you only have 2 of them, and they recharge slowly. And so, if you're a really good diver, you can go out there and you can kind of, like, juke the sharks and kill them before you run out of stamina and all that. But, like, for most players, they're not going to go out there because they're too slow, and it's basically an easy kill for the sharks, right? And so, with the DPV, the diver propeller vehicle, or whatever it's called, you can move very fast. And in fact, in some situations, you can move faster than the sharks themselves. So, you can move super fast, and you can basically just go out and you can go to sketchy corners of the map where you have, like, no resources whatsoever, and you can go in there and you can make, and you can get a lot of gold. But the thing is, you have to turn in the gold to Steve, who's in the safe room, and the sharks are probably camping outside that safe room. And so you have to not only get back... not only do you have to leave the safe room, which it's not a safe room as it being a physically safe place, it is the safe room and the fact that this safe is located there, and most likely your friends are there as well, or at least allies. So to some extent, it is both a safe room and a safe room, if that makes sense. So you have to obviously leave, and that's dangerous. So, because the sharks can just chase you, but that's also a good thing, is because if you're a good DPV user, you can kind of find out how the game's gonna play. Either you're distracting the shark, and you're wasting time, so you're buying time for your team, and then your team is collecting gold passively, and Steve is opening up the safe faster, because the sharks can interrupt Steve opening up the safe, and slow down the game. Because how it has to work, I probably should have explained this earlier, but how it basically works is the divers have to go through 3 safes, and then they have to get out back to the boat. So when a shark hits Steve, the Steve goes through a reboot period and gets delayed. And so every time the shark hits Steve, they bought themselves more time.
Oh, sorry. Suddenly, somewhere, Emmerdale seems to have disappeared. We'll go back to it as soon as we can, once we've found it.
Okay, so listen. Not only was there a government alert on my phone, but there was also multiple phone calls, and it all happened at the same time. So what happened, right, was I was getting a phone call, and then the alert popped up, and then the phone call canceled itself, and then I don't know if the alerts cancel the phone call, or if the, or the phone call just dropped. But then I got another call, and then I couldn't get to it in time, because that dropped, and so I called back, and it's just the whole thing. So I've been completely derailed. I've been completely derailed by my thought process. The only thing that I can think about is that I'm actually surprisingly hungry. I didn't think about that very much. Like, I've been recording for like a couple hours at this point, and I'm like, hey, I actually haven't really eaten food today, so I should probably get around to that at some point. And I have a very good idea. I want to finish the depth story, but I'm like raking the back of my like head, like I'm going in the back of my head, and I'm thinking like, what was I? Where was I at the story? Because it's really annoying, right? Because I get the phone call, which is canceled by the alert, and then I start recording again to get through the Emmerdale, and then I get another phone call, and then I answer it, I get hung up on, I call back, and then, you know, a whole thing. So that was kind of annoying, but so I'm thinking about you know, what I want to eat, and I actually have a pretty decent plan. Like, it's not necessarily that fancy, per se, but it is, like, I enjoy it. So I'm gonna do some macaroni and cheese. It's one of my more, like, okay, listen. I know, macaroni and cheese is one of my favorite foods. Alright, I love pasta, and I love, I love pasta. I love cheese sauces. They're both high tier, the highest tier food. They're you know, they're very like, it's an occasional treat, right? And so it is what it is. I'm not gonna apologize for liking good food, but you know, I do know that a lot of people think it's like a childish food, but you know. It's just good. Like, I like it. I appreciate it a lot. It's one of my favorite foods. And, yes, just like, hold on. What's the buff guy meme? Where it's like, yes, I do like macaroni and cheese. How could you tell? Yeah, there it is. It would be a little, I can't find one without captions. But I was gonna, like, put that image on the screen. It's like, yes, I do like macaroni and cheese. How could you tell? But, you know, it's like, you know, it is what it is. I personally like it a lot. And if you don't like it, that's fine. But I'm not gonna go the whole 9 yards. Because, like, I don't feel like making it from, quote, scratch, unquote. Because I don't make my own macaroni yet. I want to do that eventually. But I just, like, you know... It's not the time. if that makes sense. Like, it just do not be the time to learn, though. And so, like, what was I gonna say? Store's closed, by the way. Dog gone. And so it's not time to learn, but that is, like, a goal, is to be able to make my own macaroni and cheese, like, from complete scratch, like, just do everything from zero. So obviously, like, I'm using pre-made macaroni, and I'm using pre-made cheese and all that, but, you know, when you make, like, when you take plain macaroni and you take cheese and you make your own sauce, that's what I consider making it from scratch for now, anyways. And so, you know, I'm not gonna make it from scratch because I don't have the time tonight because I'm recording, so I'm gonna use store-bought. It's a good brand, though, but I'm gonna take it the whole 9 yards. Like, it's gonna get proper seasoning, except this is a surprise ingredient that a lot of people don't know about, but I guarantee you, it is a triple S tier seasoning for macaroni and cheese. I unfortunately don't have any nutmeg. But, and yes, I didn't stutter. I didn't get it mixed up. Nutmeg is the GOAT on macaroni and cheese. It really is. It's really good. Like, just trust me. Source, dude, trust me. Yeah, nutmeg is great for macaroni and cheese. But I'm also going to be doing, well, I don't have nutmeg, unfortunately. I didn't get any. So I didn't get any at the store. But I did get some onion powder, and I did get some cayenne pepper. Both of those are rather nice as well. And so I'm going to be seasoning it. And I'm also going to be, like, after it's done cooking normally, what's harder? Well, which mystery is harder, Bulletin or Botany? Bulletin if you go for the boss, like, no questions asked, but we don't have roads closed yet, so we should do the mystery that has more roads to be closed. But yeah, nutmeg is a triple S tier. Onion powder's pretty great. Garlic powder, I don't have any of that, unfortunately, but onion powder and cayenne pepper, a little bit of cayenne pepper, like the powdered stuff, is pretty good. But yeah, no, so I'm going to be seasoning it, and I'm going to be oven baking it, because oven baking macaroni and cheese is just really good. Which that is a high tier decision for sure. So I'm gonna be oven baking it, and that's gonna be fun. And I'm also gonna be adding some stuff to it as well. So I'm gonna be doing. I haven't really decided what I'm gonna add to it, but you can add pretty much anything to macaroni and cheese, and it tastes really good. You know, like, bacon is a good one, ground beef, another one, cauliflower is also really good. This is the Doom one. Yeah, this is the Doom one, so we're just gonna say no thank you, sir. I'm good. Cauliflower is really good. Broccoli is also really good. Mushrooms are okay. Like, I've done mushrooms, like, I've done mushrooms, and oh, there was another one that I did. Like, mushrooms are okay. Not my favorite, personally, but decent enough, I suppose. But yeah, pretty much anything can go on macaroni and cheese. Do we have 2 books? We actually just dead-ass have 2 books. We would almost be able to do the challenge, but we're obviously not going to do that. But, yeah, so you can add pretty much anything. I don't know what I'm going to add yet as sort of, like, the bonus, but I'm gonna add something to it as well. While it's baking in the oven, I'll cook that up. Or actually, no, I'll probably cook it up first and then add it to the tray. Just so that everything kind of stews together. But, no, we'll get cursed. Actually, do you want to rest? We don't have fetid fumes, do we? But, going back to the depth thing, I ran the DPV because it was an interesting way to play the game. And it significantly changed how you played the game, by the way. Like, that's what I want to kind of get out there, is, like, yeah, because you would go out and you'd collect treasure, excuse me. You'd go out and you'd collect treasure. We will fight our way out, and we will correct it with physical force, and get back to the adventure as soon as we can. But, the reason why I liked it is because basically I could spend most of the game just getting gold for the team, and then by, like, the end of the first safe, we would have the most powerful guns in the game. And so, when that didn't happen, though, and when the shark is like, I know what you're doing, and they focus you, if you're a good enough DPV player, then what you can do is you can waste the shark's time. And that was always really fun to me. Because you never got into a situation where, like, the DPV could be bad in, like, in the very rare situation where you had 2 sharks that just, like, 0 to 100'd your entire team. Like, I remember there was a really funny time when I used the DPV and the other 2 sharks just completely ignored me. And what they did was they just killed my entire team. Like, that's literally what they did, is they just spawn camped my team at Steve. And they just spawn camped my team at Steve. And, you know, I came back with money, and it was an interesting game for sure. But, oh, we could have cut it open. We had a steak knife. Oh, well. I definitely wanted the EXP for sure. Run, by the way. That's crazy that we got that. But no, it's like... It's just like, it's very entertaining to think about the depth days, because there's so many weird things that you could do in depth, right? And they were all relatively fun. Like, there were multiple different, like, here's the thing, there were multiple different sharks to play, right? Like, I talked about the hammerhead, but my main, the bull shark, was, they got angry. You got activated. Trying to remember the Alex Jones speech. Like, I'm an animal. Like, what is it? The Alex Jones speech where it's like, I'm a prime. Like, what is it? Like, it's a really good, it's a really great meme speech where it's like, I'm animated. I've got a life force. But you know, it's like the bull shark, basically the bull shark's whole thing is just to get angry. And when you get angry, you have, ghost health and you have ghost stamina. And basically what I mean by that is that you have, we maybe could have even fought Yashiro there, but it's fine. Shiro-san. But basically the whole point was that when somebody was shooting at you, you built up rage, and then that could give you, like, adrenaline health and adrenaline stamina. And so what could happen was the bull shark would hang behind the other shark. The other shark would go in first, and then the bull shark would be, like, directly behind the other shark, right? And so the divers start shooting at the other shark, and so then what ends up happening is the bull shark's rage gets built up, and then they now have 2 health bars and 2 stamina bars. And if you got certain upgrades, like, for instance, the divers have to... all damage you take goes to your stamina bar before it goes to your health bar, which is kind of a broken thing, and it doesn't always work consistently, but, like, for the most part, you can, like, you can trust it, but the stamina health is not very good. But there's, like, a perk that it's like, you can't take health damage until you run out of stamina. So you have 4 health bars instead of just 2. Or you have the perk that lets you dash around when you have a diver in your jaws, so that extra stamina allows you to just, like, dodge and juke as much as possible, which is really cool. And there are other things as well that are really fun. And there are just, like, there are so many ways to play the game. Do we have 2? We have 2. Oh my god, what the heck is going on here? What the heck is going on here? We have the money to get rid of both of them. Because, you know, looting is fantastic. But, anyways. Oh no, anyways. We're about to get 8 dexterity. We do have charisma to correct, though. Because apparently... we need to do that. Hello? Hello? What option did I just pick? What just happened? I'm scared. I don't know what we just chose, but it's probably nothing. But yeah, no, like, there was the bull shark, and then, like, actually near the end, like, in, like, the 90s, like, in my level, in, like, getting to level 90 plus, I pretty much started playing the great white shark exclusively, because I got really lucky in a loot box, because yes, Depth has loot boxes. I got really lucky in a loot box or something. Well, actually, was it a crafting or a loot box? I don't remember. But I got really lucky, and what ended up happening was I got the red dragon skin for the Great White, and I always liked that one. This is a dex check, by the way. Let's go. Like, no, seriously, I really like that one a lot. The red dragon Great White. It looked so cool. And originally the plan was that Jester was gonna get the frost dragon, and I was gonna get the red dragon, so that we could, maybe I bought the red dragon off the community market. I can't remember. I have a traumatic memory, quote unquote, because it's not really a traumatic memory, it's just a funny moment with depth, is I got super lucky in one of the first loot boxes that they had, and I got the legendary Dunkliosis, or what, hold on, I need to look this up. It's the Dunkleo. Like, I should just be able to find it with the Dunkleostis was a shark. So I got the legendary Dunkleostis. The Dunkleostius. And it was a skin for the Great White, and I loved it. And I used it a lot. But then I decided to sell it on the community market, and I got $30, and I used that $30 to buy For Honor. And so now it's like, it's kind of a dead meme at this point, but there was a point where a very common meme for my friend group was, I want my goddamn Dunkleos, I want my Dunkleo back. Because that's like, you want to talk about getting ripped off, buying For Honor around launch. It was tragic. It really was. This is a knowledge check, right? This is a strength check, but we got an injury for it, which is broken jaw, so who cares? Although, I guess that kind of hurts if we, whatchamacallit. What did we get? Prayer beads? Yeah, sure. We have so many items. You know that time I said that you'd never fill the suitcase without, like, Burning Man or Doll Nurse? Well, this game is, like, trying to prove me wrong here. And we've only bought one thing, if I remember correctly. Did I mess up here? I don't think I did. I think we'll be fine. Like, I'm kind of worried about that Doom, but I think we're good. Remember the voice of humanity, please? And then get me out of here. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. But, yeah, no, I sold my Dunkleostius for, like, $30 so I could buy For Honor. And, like, that was around launch. Like, I mean, I didn't have, like, For Honor, I think, was $60 when it first came out. And so I probably just used it as an excuse. It's like, oh, I got $30 in my Steam wallet. I'll just pay the rest with it. But, because I would probably have gotten For Honor anyways. But, yeah, like, half of the money that I spent on For Honor was Dunkleo money. And so I just, like, every time I look at For Honor in my Steam library, I'm just like, give me my goddamn Dunkleo back. Give me the Dunkleo back. Like, it was poor personal decisions from yours truly that ended up losing the Dunkleo skin, but, you know, it is what it is. And I don't regret it at all. Like, I had fun with For Honor. I'll never forget the one For Honor game that I had where we had a full squad. It was me, my boy Darth, my boy Jester, and then our boy, I actually don't know what he goes by on the internet these days, so I don't want to, like, say his old username. But, my boy, and so it's like, it's me and the boys, and we're all playing, and we're going up against this team of people who are way better at the game than us. Like, they absolutely destroy us in combat. Like, we can't win, right? Like, and I was a Lawbringer main, by the way. So, like, if you know anything about For Honor, you know that, like, Web, why would you even consider then there's a big wall. And so it's like a capture point sort of thing, right? So you have, like, I don't remember the exact names of the points, but you had, like, the right side of the map, which was 1 point, and that had the big building with the walkway where you could kick people off of. Then you had the one where you have, like, the minions who are pushing up B, like, the middle. And so you just kind of, you know, you have that situation, and then you have the wall, which is, like, A or whatever, and then, like, the other area is, like, C, right? Hey, wait a minute. But, yeah, so you have that, and, we'll idle here for a second for absolutely no reason whatsoever. And so you had that, and this team was just, they were destroying us. Like, they had a peacekeeper who was just, like, murdering us all, and, like, we were getting our asses handed to us. Like, we lost, like, all of our tickets pretty quickly. But the thing is, they didn't really play the objective at all. And so what we did is we would have one of our boys lure them out of the objective, because they were greedy for kills, and then we would sneak in and we'd capture the objective, and then we'd hold it with, like, numbers. And so their tickets were going down, right? So their tickets were going down. We were getting slaughtered, so our tickets were going down as well. And we were just holding objectives with numbers. And so we got to a point where we had actually managed to get all of their tickets down by holding the points, because they were just chasing us down for kills. And so then we had our nameless boy, who I won't say his name, because, again, I don't know what he goes by on the internet these days. He and I were running around, and then we had Jester and Darth who were running around. And so what ended up happening is we managed to catch one of them off, like, the nameless boy, he was fighting on, like, the drawbridge, right? And I came out of nowhere, and I charged in, and I managed to slam the person against the wall, and we managed to double-team them and kill them before they could get, like, the revenge super. And so we had killed them. They were dead. And so now we had a player advantage. And so we just kept telling Darth and Jester, like, keep running, keep running, keep running. Come to the drawbridge, come to the drawbridge. And then we got on the turret, and we just started gunning them down. And so the last one, we had to hunt the last person down, and we were all sweating. Because that person could easily, like, just 1v4 us effortlessly. And so what we had to do is we had to chase them, but we had to make sure that we didn't get caught in an environmental trap, or we didn't, like, give them revenge. Because if they got revenge, then they could just kill us instantly, because revenge was overpowered. And everybody ran revenge builds, so that they could just, like, 0 to 100. Like, For Honor was such a weird game, where it's like, if you got revenge and you knew how to use it, you could kill the entire enemy team on your own, no help from other people. And you could do that consistently, especially if you had a revenge build. But we just kept picking them off one by one, and I'll never forget. I have no idea who posted it in chat. I'm pretty sure it was Darth, but they were so mad in the chat. They were like, they were mad in the chat, and then somebody posted from our team. Somebody posted, and the better team won, because I don't remember who posted that. I was pretty sure it was Darth. That was the best For Honor game I've ever had, for sure. And it was like, that was so good. Like, we were all howling. Like, the room was, the room was lit up. It was really good. And I think somebody captured that with, like, NVIDIA Shadow Play or whatever, but oh man, that was a great one. Anyways, I hope you're all having a good one. I'm gonna have to edit this video to make sure that the Emmerdale's there and whatnot. So anyways, I hope you're all having a good one. I hope you're staying safe out there. I will see you on the next episode of World of Horror. Have a good one. Goodbye.